6 billion people around the globe, from every imaginable background, with incredible diversity. Yet, despite these differences, we're more similar and more connected than you might think. Who were our ancestors? Where do we come from? And how did we get here? In April 2005, National Geographic and IBM teamed up to find out. I wanted to draw people together, to make people realize that we're all part of an extended family and that our DNA connects all of us into a very tight-knit group. With support from the Waite Family Foundation, we launched the Genographic Project, a massive 5-year effort to trace our DNA back tens of thousands of years to our earliest ancestors in East Africa. We're collaborating with indigenous tribes plus hundreds of thousands of other people around the world, gathering DNA samples to map our human history. We need to create the world's largest database of genotypes. You're talking about sampling hundreds of thousands of people around the world and generating all this genetic information. We need to find a partner.
It does take a great deal of innovation to pull off this mapping of the journey, of humankind.
We provide the technology infrastructure to gather the data and bring it in.
There's no better place to prove how we're all connected than here at Grand Central, the crossroads of New York City and a microcosm of diversity.
My name is Spencer Wells.
Hello,
I work with National Geographic. I direct a project for them called the Genographic Project.
Yeah.
And we're using DNA as a tool to study how people all over the world are related to each other. Would you be interested in maybe giving us a sample and becoming a part of it?
Yes, I'd love to contribute my DNA.
Absolutely.
Maybe getting yourself tested?
100%.
What do you think you might find out? What is your family
Well, I have a lot of questions. My last name is not common in the country where I was born.
We have Aztec Indian in our, because my basic heritage is Mexican as far as I'm concerned, but we traced it back to Spain.
Fascinating. So you'd be interested in maybe getting yourself tested and seeing all the way back to those ancestors and maybe even before?
Sure, as long as it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt at all. Very simple. You swab the inside of your cheek, take a few cells, send them off to the lab, and then you go into a website totally anonymously to get the results back a few weeks later.
Sounds good.
Well, let's get you started swabbing.
Don't look at any of my fillings.
Start them with you.
Yep, up and down. Perfect. Then you do a second one, just to make sure we have enough of your DNA. The first thing that comes out of the research is how closely related we all are. So, we only started to separate about 2,000 generations ago, which is like that in the geological sense. What do you know about your family history?
I know a lot of my relatives. Some of them look as you do. Then I have, like, for example, my mother's father was very dark.
We all started off in Africa around 50,000 years ago. So you are African, I'm African, under the skin. Another
So
group
like
split
you and I
off.
related.
We could be related. How do you feel about that?
Oh, fantastic. Can't wait for my Christmas present.
In just a few weeks, Cecile, JW, Frank, and Dee Dee will get the results of their DNA tests and discover the mysteries of their pasts. So far, the Genographic Project has collected over 200,000 samples, and IBM's computational biology group has been helping us analyze the results.
This is our first chance in the history of human civilization to look within and learn something that actually was not knowable before.
Unlocking those secrets helps us understand how we're all connected, like our 4 participants from Grand Central, who are about to discover the stories of their distant past. Dee Dee lives near Minneapolis, where she's been tending bar for 26 years. She's definitely a people person.
There you go, honey. Are you ready to order?
I'm looking forward to seeing her again.
Well, hi, Spencer the scientist from National Geographic.
Hey, Dee Dee.
Nice to see you. Great. How are you?
You start off in Africa all those years ago, just like everybody else all over the world. And around 45,000 years ago, after living in Africa for a very long time, a little group of your ancestors left Africa and moved up into the Middle East. 40,000 years ago, you have recently come out of Africa. Suddenly, you're living in this icy wasteland with things like that walking around. And you've got to figure out a way to kill them to make a living and survive. What would you have done?
Well, I would have killed him. No, I would have found a guy to do it for me. Yeah.
In Southern California, Frank is retiring soon and looking forward to a life on the golf course. He discovers that his ancient relatives crossed the Bering Strait during the last ice age to become the first humans to settle in the Americas. His Aztec blood might be for real.
It's quite interesting. Up to the last 15 to 20,000 years, our ancestors were extremely adaptable, who survived by hunting large mammals, using sophisticated weapons and small stone blades, and it kind of makes me understand why I feel that I'm such a survivor, because I am. I can create, things out of nothing. I've always been that way.
We are an ancient people. That to me is fabulous.
Cecile Nepal's results reveal that her ancestors were among the first humans to ever settle in Southeast Asia. Now Cecile lives and works in New York City, but she still feels connected to her Philippine roots.
That there's something that we still have that we carry on, and it's something to be proud about.
New York City cop J.W. lives in Brooklyn with his wife and son. His DNA results confirm his Puerto Rican, Spanish, and ancient African heritage, but that isn't all.
What was surprising was that we were the actual first humans to ever plant seeds, and from that we generated this huge cultivation of crops, and we pretty much changed the face of, I guess, mankind, if you would. Coming from grandparents who were farmers themselves, I kind of see the relation there, so pretty interesting.
Everybody that we met at Grand Central that day ultimately traces back to an ancestor in Africa.
I feel connected because we all have one common place of origin, East Africa. Regardless of what our exteriors look like, regardless of how our accents may differ, our customs, our holidays, whatever the case may be, it all started here, and we all have that connection.
I think the ultimate goal for this project is to literally bring us all a little bit closer together.
The cool thing that comes out of this research is obviously that we're all connected to each other, and that we scattered to the wind, if you will, to populate the world over the last 60,000 years.
Sponsored by National Geographic Mission Programs, taking science and exploration into the new millennium.